Hey guys, it's Katie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about what are some of my favorite school supplies to have on hand for your school year that go beyond the crayons and the paper and the hole punch and things like that. So we're going to jump into a few of my favorite supplies that I really like to use and why I like to use them, and hopefully will help you as you're going back to school shopping and getting into all of those fun goodies. So let's get started. Before I jump into that, I want to tell you that if you have not had a chance to subscribe and you like videos on homeschooling, home management, parenting, and things like that, this would be a great time to subscribe to my channel because I talk about all those things on this channel. And I would love to be able to have you guys be part of our YouTube family. So subscribe, click the little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out, and let's jump into school supplies. So last video, we talked about some things you can do to set yourself up for homeschool success for the next school year, and I will post links to that video above and below for you guys. And one of those things was to gather together the supplies that you have or that you need and figure out what you need and fill in the gaps. So today I'm going to be sharing some of those. Like I said, we already know those basic school supplies that everybody needs, but I want to touch on some of the ones that you may not have thought about yet. Some are more out of the box than others, but wanted to share what we like to have on hand at all times. So one thing a lot of people don't think about is command strips. If you guys are not familiar with this, they are little strips that attach to your wall and then usually to a poster or picture or something like that, and will come off very easily without leaving any sticky residue on your wall. And I love to use these command strips for my classroom because we constantly have posters or artwork or timelines or things like that that need to be hung up in our house. So command strips is what we use. And no, this is not a sponsored video by command strips. It's just one of the things I like to use. We love to have that. We just get the really small ones, you know, the poster hanging ones. You don't need the real heavy ones unless you're getting into other things they're hanging. So this is a great thing to have on hand for your school year. Another great thing, I know I said I wouldn't be talking about basic school supplies, but I do feel like pencils is one thing worth mentioning. And the Dixon Ticonderoga, I don't know if I'm saying that right, whatever. Here, I'll show you so you can see it. These pencils are fantastic. I've actually gotten to the point where I've banned all of their pencils in our house except for these because they stay sharp, they don't break all the time. I like the erasers, things like that. You can usually find them on Amazon deals throughout the summer, so be sure to keep an eye out there, or you can just get them at Walmart or wherever. But having a good pencil is kind of a deal breaker because you're using it constantly. We have also used mechanical pencils, which my kids like as well, and then we kind of nix the whole need to sharpen. So those are the two kinds of pencils we use, and I would recommend whatever you do, investing in the good ones. Don't just go with the 99-cent ones because they're cheap. I love to save money. I love cheap things. Inexpensive things probably is what I should say. But I love to get a good deal, but this is not the place to skimp because this is going to be used every day and it's going to drive you crazy. Along those lines, a good pencil sharpener is also a must. I did a lot of research before I bought mine. I've now had mine for I think 3 years now. It is the Orbit pencil sharpener. It's an electric sharpener. I got it at Sam's Club 3 years ago. You can get them online or other places. But this sharpener has held up to the use and abuse that 6 Kids gives to it. And I have loved how easy it is to use and great pencil sharpener to have on hand. Whether you get this one or you get a different one, think about getting a good quality one because, again, it's going to get a lot of use. Another item that you probably have heard a lot about is a laminator. I love my laminator. Some people, you don't need one. I don't think anyone technically needs a laminator, even though I might say that I need one. But a laminator is so helpful to have when you're trying to laminate worksheets, board game pieces, when you're trying to do flashcards, anything that where you need durability, especially if you have a large family. I think it's really helpful. I have gotten the Scotch brand laminator and the Amazon brand laminator. They both worked great. I will say a great way to save money on it is to buy the off-brand paper for the laminator instead of buying the name brand stuff. You can save a lot of money that way. I will try if I can to link down below where I get those. I get them on Amazon, but you can get so many more for so cheap, and it makes it really affordable and easy to use, and they last forever. So that's one way you can save a little bit of money. Going into another one that's probably not quite as commonly thought of, and that is having some visual timers. So in our family, we like to use these. I have timers that are 2 minutes, and you see this one's a fun one. I don't know if you can see this. It's a fun one that drips down, and by the time it's done, it's about 2 minutes. And this one that also has the dripping things down, and that's about 5 minutes. You could use these, you can use an app on your phone. They have other visual timers out there, but I do find that it's a really nice thing to have so that when you have especially little kids that you need them to do a task while you're working with the older ones, you can just set that in front of them and say, okay, when that timer's up, then you can get up from this task. But otherwise, you need to play with Play-Doh till then, or you need to do whatever till then. And that's been really helpful. For older kids, you can also use it as a break thing. So if they're just getting to the point where mentally they're just over whatever they're doing, they're about in tears over something, you can say, okay, here's our 5-minute timer. You can go play, you can listen to a song. My kids love to have kind of dance party breaks. You can do that, but when the timer's up, it's time to get back to work. So that's just something that I find is really helpful. Or you could just use a regular kitchen timer, but I think that's something that we use a lot in our schooling with different things. I would also recommend having lots of dry erase markers. We use dry erase markers for several of the Usborne books that we use for my younger ones to supplement things with. We use it for our board when we're doing reading, when we're doing spelling, and having a variation of different colors and sizes has been really helpful. Again, I usually scope out Amazon deals on this. They go on sale really cheap a couple times during the summer, so be sure to watch out for that. Note cards, I think that's pretty common used one, but it's not exactly in the always get, so I thought I'd make worth mentioning. We like to use these for building different flashcards, again, for making games, for my kids to practice different things. These are great tools to have, and I like having them in different colors. We have white, we have blank ones, we have neon colored ones, and we can use them for different. Two more things that I think are really helpful is Velcro strips. Again, I get them from Amazon. There are different places you can get them, but I like to have Velcro strips on hand as we're playing and doing different manipulatives, as we have picture schedules for some of my kiddos with special needs that need a little bit more visual input there. We have different picture schedules they can do. We have them on their school boxes. If you guys have seen last year's video on our schoolroom, you can see we have our school boxes labeled by the subject, and I just have little picture cards, and we use this with Velcro. So we always like to have that on hand. A little tip, make sure when you're buying it that you're getting both sides of the Velcro and they're not two identical sides, or you're not going to be able to have them stick. I have done that before. So make sure you have hook and loop strips and not just one or the other, because there are some sets where you can just buy one or the other. And so make sure that so they actually stick together. The last thing might seem kind of silly, but we love to have these rings on hand. They separate, they pull together. I have them in all different sizes. This is a much larger one, but we have them in small, medium, large. I like to use them, again, for flashcards. We use them to hang some of our school stuff on. And so I just think that it is really helpful thing to have on hand at any given point. You can bind and attach something together that you need. We have our memory work cards on here that I throw in my purse. We have some of our drill cards here that we're going to be using for next year, sneak peek, because I'm going to be doing a reveal on our curriculum for next year, and we have them hung on one. Sorry for the video change here, guys. My battery just died and I had to switch over to my other camera. So ignore that. But anyways, that is kind of the supplies that I highly recommend. Again, not everybody's going to need all of those things, but just some fun things you may not have thought of. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, I would love if you would share this video, if you would subscribe to my channel, if you would comment below, tell me what your favorite thing was that I shared. Tell me what you think your most needed supply is that you use that other people wouldn't think of. I love hearing you guys' thoughts and ideas, and maybe there's something I'm missing that I need for this year. You know, a homeschool mom never minds going shopping for extra supplies. So drop that in the comments. I look forward to talking to you guys later. Bye.